All right, welcome to episode 110 of the 2-Minute Warning. Tonight we're going to be looking at my reaction to the last game of Week 11 that just finished tonight. Monday Night Football, Bucs versus Rams. Rams come out on top, 27-24. Big win for the Rams. Big NFC matchup. These are two teams that are looking at, of course, NFC wildcard spots. NFC playoff spots, I think likely. At least the Bucs, now with this loss tonight, likely not going to win the division, so they're looking for a wild card, and I think the Rams not going to win their division. That NFC West division is very good, and I think they're both teams that are looking for wild card spots. But anyway, Rams come out on top, 27-24. Bucs were favored in this game. Not sure how much on the odds, but every analyst, when they do their pregame picks, I think 3 out of 4, maybe 4 out of 5, picked the Bucs. Only one guy, Booger McFarland, chose the Rams. Well, he was right. 27-24 win for the Rams, like I said. And looking at my reaction, really, goes straight to Tom Brady. Tom Brady did not look good tonight. He looked old. He looked flustered. He looked all of the above. 2 interceptions. I mean, that's not insanely high, but when you look at Tom Brady, the scope of his career, he doesn't have many 2-interception games, so that wasn't good to see. He was just super inaccurate. He's throwing balls out of bounds, throwing balls over receivers' heads, throwing interceptions 25 feet from a receiver. Like I said, he had 2 picks tonight. Both were on throws over 15 yards. He was typical Tom Brady as Tom Brady gets late in his career. A lot of checkdowns, a lot of hitting the guys in the flat, a lot of screen passes. But like I said, both interceptions on balls over 15 yards. He was really inaccurate. He did throw for 2 touchdowns and 16 yards. So not a great night for Tom Brady. So that's the first thing that I really noticed after watching this whole game was, wow, Tom Brady did not look good. Looking at the Rams side of the ball, I think honestly, the Bucs beat themselves more than the Rams beat the Buccaneers. Jared Goff's stat line, threw the ball 51 times, insanely high. 376 yards, 3 touchdowns, solid night for Goff. Does have 2 picks, or did have 2 picks, but one came late in the game that was honestly looking to me like it was going to let the Bucs win. So big pick for Goff, and then one in the beginning of the game that it seems like him and his running back were not on the same page. So 2 picks for Goff, but almost 400 yards, 51 pass attempts, and 3 touchdowns. So a solid night for Goff. But again, when it came down to it there at the end of the game, he did throw the interception that I thought was going to give the Bucs the game, and honestly should have given the Bucs the game had Tom Brady not overthrown. I think it was Scotty Miller. Overthrown the guy by 5 yards and throwing the pick to end the game. Defensively, like I said, both teams forced two interceptions. Goff and Brady both threw 2 interceptions. We saw tonight Jalen Ramsey matched up on Mike Evans. Mike Evans had two receiving touchdowns. One of them, I think, the first one was just a result of bad tackling, and I don't think Jalen Ramsey was on him for that specific play. The second one, arguably a push-off from Evans. I know Jalen Ramsey came up looking for the flag, but we saw Mike Evans take 2 touchdowns. Both touchdowns that Brady threw were Mike Evans. But Ramsey had a solid night, I would say. Jordan Fuller, rookie safety out of Ohio State, 2 interceptions, his first of his career. So safety for the Rams, big night for him. 2 interceptions, my mistake. And let's see, Aaron Donald was, I guess, relatively silent tonight. Didn't hear his name a whole bunch, but just the presence of Aaron Donald alone was enough is enough for any quarterback to be nervous. So of course, Aaron Donald always has a good presence there. For the Rams offensively, again, Cooper Kupp, 11 catches, 140-something yards. Robert Woods, 130 yards, 12 catches and a touchdown. So those 2 guys right there really carried the Rams offense tonight. And of course, like I said, Jared Goff had a solid night, but then when it came down to it at the end, he did throw that interception. So neither team looked really good, but this was a great matchup that is indicative of what we're going to see in the playoffs here for the NFC. So again, when I'm looking at really what I noticed tonight was Tom Brady looked really weak. And the Rams played solid football. The Rams played playoff caliber football, in my opinion. But I really think a better team with a quarterback that's clicking better, like Aaron Rodgers or like Russell Wilson or like Kyler Murray and the Cardinals or like the Saints, any of these teams that they're likely going to play early in the NFC playoffs, I think beat the Rams tonight because their defense was not as sharp as it could have been. Of course, they also missed a field goal. So they were just, it was a 44-yard field goal, not a deep field goal. So they were just kind of off a little bit, but it was enough to beat the Bucs. And again, the biggest takeaway from tonight is the problems with the Buccaneers. I just don't see they've only come away with one big win over a big team. They beat Carolina twice. They beat Atlanta. They beat Other weak teams, who can I think of? Anyway, they haven't beat many good teams other than Green Bay. They beat the Giants barely. So the Buccaneers, really, I've been waiting for them to click. This is a team that I have so much faith in. Of course, being a Floridian, I like the Bucs. I always have. And I've just been waiting for this team to click. Waiting, okay, next week they're going to click. Next week, Tom Brady's going to finally get his feel for this offense. Oh, they got Antonio Brown. They're going to be good. Well, I'm still waiting for that time for the Bucs to look good. I just haven't seen it yet. Of course, that Green Bay game was, wow, okay, the Bucs are the best team in the NFC. Then downhill from there with that loss to the Saints. Of course, that wasn't immediately the next week, but it was a couple weeks later. So the Bucs are really worrying me right now because I want them to be good so bad, and they're just not. I think the Rams, of course, are a solid team, but a good team beats them, especially tonight when they were a little bit off. So I'm really worried about what the future of this Bucs team is. I think they're going to make the playoffs, and I just don't think they're going to make a statement in the playoffs, which is what worries me. But tonight, again, we saw the Rams come out on top. Of course, winning is the most important stat in football. The Rams won tonight. Big defensive stops for them. So I'm hopeful that the Bucs are going to continue to get better. But of course, I've been hopeful like that all season, and now we're 11 games in. Week 11 just got wrapped up tonight, and the Bucs are seemingly getting worse. So hopefully, the Bucs are going to get better. And the Rams are still fighting for that NFC West division, which is still up for grabs. I think the Rams just improved to 7-3, which is right up in there with Seattle, with Arizona. So there's a big win for the Rams tonight and a big loss for the Bucs. This was a big game. Like I said, this is very much a possible situation for a first-round playoff. Not necessarily these two teams, because like I said, I think they're going to both be wild cards. But every team in the NFC is good. It's going to be a good matchup for whoever they play. But again, big win for the Rams tonight, big loss for the Bucs. 2-minute warning.